Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Craig. Actually, I don't think I do short. So, one of the famous political quotes in New Zealand history is when Muldoon and Winston Peters, were on the campaign hustings up in Whangarei in the 80s, and the crowd was getting restless. Muldoon said, "Okay, you go out and wind them up, and then I'll come through and calm them down." So my brief this afternoon is to prepare you for the tour around PMP in Wiri and give you a very brief understanding of what you'll be seeing. Where do I point this? Other way? There we go. Right, that's a bird's eye view of the plant. The building in which our plant resides was built in the 1980s, and at the time it was built, it was the biggest single building in New Zealand, the biggest building under one roof. There is an office block tacked on the front, in which we'll be having a dinner and entertainment after the tour, and that was built 2 years ago, just before we moved in. That's looking down the site towards the presses from the end. You'll see the roof has been redone with panels. A lot of thought has gone into the environmental values of the building. The lights are computer controlled. In terms of that energy presentation earlier today, there's dynamic control of not so much the pumps but the motors, and a lot of work as well around recycling. The fundamental business undertaken by PMP in New Zealand starts off with market and customer analytics, moves through print production, warehousing, letterboxed, and then a logistics piece, which is about getting the material we print to the end user. So either catalogues, which goes into letterboxes, or magazine, which goes into letterbox via post, or retail, and then shipping services. But fundamentally, as far as we're concerned this afternoon, and the tour is concerned, we're about print production, warehousing, and movement of printed material to end users. A couple of statistics about the site in total. We consume about 100 tonnes of paper a day, which is a mixture of newsprint coated mechanical and uncoated wood-free. Coated wood-free. We do about 3,000 titles, and we deliver, not every day, but across an average week, we'll be delivering to about 8,000 delivery points. And if you think the logistics of getting 100 tonnes of paper out of containers and onto the floor and into a press is challenging, it's even more so getting 3,000 titles to 8,000 delivery points on time, every time. So the activities on site, obviously paper receipt, paper management and paper logistics, pre-press, printing, which includes heat set, sheet fed, although those presses are moving right at the moment, short run digital, there's a mail house operation, a letterbox distribution, and a magazine retail distribution operation. In the background there is the paper store, and on the basis that with the exception of local newsprint, any paper that we use is 16 weeks away from the time of order. We have to make sure we have adequate paper for both what we have in the pipeline, plus some speculative stock. Just looking at the site, you'll see on the very right-hand side of that diagram the paper store, then the presses, then the finishing gear, and then finally distribution. At the where's that gone? Oh, there we go. So paper, presses, finishing, magazine distribution. This is where the sheet-fed presses will be, and letterbox distribution down there. On this side, orientate myself. Paper, presses, finishing, magazine distribution, letterbox distribution. And what you see there, and what you'll see when you're on the site, is a fantastic seamless flow from paper to printing to finishing to out the door. That has all sorts of benefits around reduced handling, reduced opportunities for error, reduced opportunities for occupational health and safety, etc. Just a little bit about people on site. There are 340 people on site, give or take, of which 100 are white-collar or administration and 240 in operations. Press Hall operates on 6x3, 12-hour shifts, which covers 7 days. And the office and logistics are on traditional 5x8-hour shifts. As an organisation, PMP is committed to training and the apprenticeship program. We have 3 in bindery at the moment, 1 in engineering, and are always looking for opportunities to improve. In terms of health safety and environment, the site is FFC and PFC accredited, Enviromark audit pending, and as a publicly listed Australasian company, health and safety is critical, as it should be in every company. We all have the right to go home in at least as good condition as we arrive in the morning. And we use Safety Map, which, like PEFC, is a third-party accreditation for health and safety activities. This is a quick inventory of the machinery on site, but given that we're short of time, I won't go into too much detail. 4 heat set presses, 2 48-page, a 24-page, and a 16-page. From September on, 2 10-colour A1 sheet-fed presses and a 6-colour B2 with a coater. Lots of stitching capacity with 3 stitches and a perfect binder, and then all the ancillary finishing gear that you would expect with that. We also, as I said, run distribution for letterbox. We have 6,000 people around New Zealand who are contracted to go and very kindly provide very informative material in your letterbox on how much your baked beans should cost this week, or if you were looking for a flat screen TV, which is the best retailer to go and visit. Those 6,000 walkers are managed by 180 supervisors, and both the walkers and the supervisors are contractors, and the supervisors are managed by 3 field managers, which are all employees of ours. Now, this is, of course, a working site, and health and safety, as I said, is really important. So please follow all the normal rules, which is following the instructions of your tour guide, sticking together, staying within the lines when there are lines. Make sure you're wearing closed shoes, although you'd be a brave person at the moment with the temperature outside to not be. No loose clothing. And remember, it's only the buses that are staggering. Sorry. And apart from that, we look forward to having you on site. And hopefully, we will leave you with what we give all our customers, a fantastic impression.